What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Yesterday, Craig Kimbrel had some interesting comments about his recent struggles, and he still expects to be the closer no matter what. Joe Adell's breakout season for the Angels might actually be real. Yesterday, he almost went to the highway in center field. Something happened in the Giants and the Reds game that has not happened in 40 years. And this is bad for the rest of Major League Baseball. Ronald Acuña Jr.'s power, it might be back. All of that and more in today's MLB recap, the only MLB recap on YouTube. So support the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off your entire order. And right now on Underdog Fantasy, code Fuzzy will get new users up to a $250 bonus credit. Paul Skenes is going today, so celebrate. I wish I was going to be at that Paul Skenes debut, and I also wish I was at this game. San Diego in May sounds beautiful, and the Dodgers are in town. Also, Michael King, when he's on, he's a must-watch pitcher. After he struck out James Outman, he had 6 strikeouts through 2 1/3. Ohtani, he ruins the no-hitter, but King, he got right back to striking guys out. Freeman, he's caught looking, and Will Smith, he went down hacking. That's 8 strikeouts through 3 innings for Michael King. Oh, I forgot. Glasnow, he's on the bump for the Dodgers. He struck out Merrill on a 98 fastball. That's 5 consecutive strikeouts in a row, and it's not going to be 6. Luis Campusano, he caught a barrel, and Campusano now has 10 home runs and a 130 OPS plus since last year over his last 84 games. Glasnow, he got back to it. He struck out Kim, and then a rise, he grounded out. It stayed 1-0 for a while because King and Glasnow, they were striking out everyone and their mom. King went 7. He leaves with 11 strikeouts on 2 base hits. Glasnow, he went 7, but he only struck out 10. He's a bum, but 3 hits were allowed total between the pair. Glasnow only allowed the 1 hit to Campusano. Newcomer Yuki Matsui relieved King, and this swing right here is actually going to be a trend for today's recap. It deflects off the pitcher. Mookie gets a single, and Ohtani, he laced a rocket double to left field, but Betts, he was stopped 90 feet away from home. Freddie, he did his job, though. That sac fly ruins Michael King's chance at a W. We're knotted up at 1 run apiece. The Dodgers were held scoreless in the 9th, so San Diego, you might want to walk this off before you get to extra innings. Campusano, he flat out rakes. His second extra base hit put himself in position to win it, and Luis Arraez, he stepped in without a hit. Let's go. We get a play at the plate. Outman has a rocket for an arm, but he can't get there in time. Luis Arraez's first game as a Padre in San Diego results in a walk-off versus the Dodgers. Make the trades. Go get your superstars. We're going to recap this Reds and Giants game next because, again, something happened for the first time since the 1970s. We've seen a lot of this lately. Elly De La Cruz, he stole his 24th bag, and he was probably going to score anyways after this 2-out double off the bat of Spencer Steer. He put a charge into that thing. Slater, he almost made an instant catch, so I do want to give him that. Thairo Estrada has been awful versus lefties all year, but maybe he found something on that swing. He's up to 6 home runs already. He's on pace to easily shatter his career high of 14 home runs. The Giants, they actually went up 1 after Tyler Fitzgerald blooped one into shallow right. Now it's time for some deja vu, both on this stolen base from Elly De La Cruz, but also another bloop single to shallow right field. Elly, he's got 25 stolen bases. Spencer Steer now has 27 RBIs. Look who's back for the Reds and driving in runs. TJ Friedl, he was dearly missed. He missed about the first 35-ish games of the year with a wrist issue. That's an RBI double. Now remember, I said something has not happened in almost 40 years since the 1970s. Pinch hitter Stuart Fairchild, he was able to leg out an inside the park home run using his top 5% speed. That's the first pinch hit home run since the 70s. Alexis Diaz is going to try and close it out, and I say try because he's really struggled this year. He gets Blake Sabol. The Reds, they end their 8-game losing streak. So the Reds win 4-2, and we have some other 4-2 ball games I want to show, mostly because they were super easy to recap. Atlanta beat the Mets pretty much in 1 inning. Ronald, how about 461 feet? He has 2 home runs over the last week. He had 1 over the first 5 weeks. Ozzie Albies, he made it back-to-back. He crushes lefties, so that was bound to happen. Matt Olson's up now. He has not hit a home run in a month. I think he almost won 100 at-bats. Maybe Jose Quintana felt bad. He grooved a middle sinker fastball, whatever that was, and Matt Olson, he ends his homerless streak. Lindor, he got his OPS plus back up to 100 after that second deck no-doubter. His 7th home run of the year. That was all that New York could manage off of Charlie Morton. The 4-year-old held the Mets to 1 run on 3 base hits over 7 innings. He struck out 7 as well, so he might be pitching until his, 50s maybe, the way that he's been pitching lately. Raisel Iglesias, he did not have the easiest 9th inning. Pete Alonso, he extended the game for a few more minutes on this 2-out RBI knock. He just delayed the inevitable because JD Martinez, he missed a changeup. So not only is that Raisel's 10th save of the season, that's his 200th career save. Good for him. Ooh, here we go. John Gray's taking on his former team. He was the 3rd overall pick way back in 2013 by the Rockies. He struck out 2 in the 1st, and then he got his former backstop Elias Diaz to chase out a slider in the 3rd. John Gray ended up holding the Rockies scoreless over 4, but Elias Diaz, he got his payback for that strikeout. His RBI single plates the first run of the day for both teams, and here's the second. Do not let Corey Seager get hot. The Brewers let Aaron Judge get hot. The Rockies might have let Corey Seager get hot. He's hitting .239 with only 4 home runs. So again, don't let him get hot, please. John Gray did a nice job to bounce back after that RBI to Elias Diaz. He ended up getting through 6. He strikes out Montero to end his night. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Gray's on a mission to make sure that Texas knows he's a starter, not a reliever like they used him in the playoffs. He has a 1.5 ERA and 47 strikeouts over his last 42 innings. Rocky starter Austin Gomber was pretty good as well, so he has back-to-back starts going 6+ innings, allowing 1 or fewer. Rockies reliever Justin Lawrence, he better send the Rangers a gift or something because he walked in a run. He was looking real dumb, but then the Rangers, they looked even more dumb a few moments later, so everyone forgot that Lawrence walked in a run. I mean, Tavares dropped it. Blackman, he scores to tie it at 2, and staying with Blackman, he got 95 down the middle. You just can't, it won't work against a guy like Charlie Blackman. This 2-run double gives him 1,717 career base hits. Is he going to get to 2,000? I keep forgetting that he's almost 38 years old. Anyway, for the first time this year, the Rockies, they've won 2 games in a row. The Rangers dropped back-to-back games, which is big for the Rangers because they won. I'm going to spoil it, but they did. I don't know if Paul Blackburn made a bad your mom joke or something right before Mother's Day, but the Mariners, they started throwing haymakers after being shut out in the first 3 innings. Luke Raley has been really good over the last 2 weeks. He sent one the other way for an RBI double. He missed a home run by maybe a foot. Ty France, he smoked a double as well, so 2 more are going to score. Paul Blackburn, he's usually pretty good at stranding runners, but not in this one. Seattle, they were locked in. Dylan Moore, he crushed a missile 2-run home run, and stay tuned, he had 5 RBIs in this one. Now, we do have a sad twist of this game. Brian Wu was cooking, but he had to leave with forearm tightness. This was his first start off the IL. I'm praying that it was out of caution, but he was looking nasty. 1 hit over 4 1/3 shutout. Dylan Moore's up again, and I already set it up. He came through not just there with the bases loaded for 2 more RBIs, but again after that on an RBI single. He surprisingly has a 116 OPS plus since 2022. He can swing it. The Mariners win easy, and they're back to just a half game of the Rangers for first place. Speaking of being a half game back of first place, the Guardians are really wetting the bed lately. They got to get back to winning because if they lose, both Minnesota and the Royals can be within a half game if they win. Garrett Crochet made me feel weird things. I know that sounds odd, but as a Cleveland fan, it sucked to watch, but as a baseball fan, you can't help but be wowed by this dude's stuff. He racked up 8 or 9 strikeouts before the 6th inning. He did not allow a single run to score. Carlos Carrasco-Cookie, he was trying his best to keep up. With 2 runners on in the 5th, he got his ground ball, but that's awesome, cool. Yeah, Gabriel Arias took his eye off the ball. He was trying to fire to home before the ball was even in his glove. 2 score, and then a 3rd on the single. Tommy Pham's hitting like .310 with 8 RBIs. He's also not striking out as much. Cleveland, they can't say the same thing because they struck out 11 times versus Crochet. That's a new career high for him. Garrett's out after 6 shutout, and then everyone just started hitting the power button. Tyler Freeman, home run. Catcher for the White Sox, Corey Lee, home run. Paul DeYoung, home run. Jose Ramirez, a 2-run home run. He's hitting .350 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs over his last 6 games. And 1 more home run for you guys. Andrew Vaughn, he's finally on the board. That's his first of the year. He went 1 for 4, and his batting average actually went up, so the weight has to be lifted off of his shoulders. Rookie Jordan Leisure, he has been really good. A 4-out save. The White Sox, I can't believe I'm saying this, they've won 3 in a row for the 2nd time in the last few weeks. Now, I just got to pray as a Guardians fan that the Halos somehow put up 20 runs off of Alec Marsh, and oh no. The Angels tried a squeeze. It went directly to Michael Garcia for an inning double play, and they cut straight to Ron Washington. Just ruthless camera angles right there. Alec Marsh was tossing seeds on the bump. He gets through 4 shutout after dialing it up to 98 miles an hour to get Matt Thaiss. Griffin Canning, he was very efficient as well. He got some help from Joe Adell in right field, not just with the leather, but also, if you're not looking, please look at this swing. Joe Adell went to the fountains 440 feet to the highway in center. He has 6 home runs and 7 stolen bases and 87 at-bats. He's been incredibly impressive, and his breakout could seriously match like 70% of Ohtani's numbers. That's how talented Joe Adell is. Now, the Royal starter Alec Marsh did get in some trouble. He let Neto get to 3rd base, but he's fine because Moniak, he swings over it. He struck out 7 and allowed just 1 run. Canning, he went 5 2/3 shutout, so obviously he's in line for the win. Well, like he was. Adam Frazier, he saved his first home run of the year for Carlos Estevez, who has been blowing leads left and right. He somehow caught up to a 97 fastball on his hands, and that's just unreal. Like, that's one of those, you rub your eyes like a cartoon to see if you're dreaming. Now, the Halos did fight back, though. I'll give them some credit. They have the tying run at 3rd, and only a perfect play can end their night, and Maikel Garcia, he's going to make that play pretty much 10 times out of 10. The Royals have won 3 in a row. The Angels players, they look straight up defeated in the dugout. So the Royals do get to a half game of first place, and before we show if the Twins win or not, I'm going to roll the Astros highlights because Kyle Tucker, him and his buddies are no longer a last place team. King Tuck has 12 home runs. That was the only run Casey Mize gave up all day. Just unfortunately, Andrew Chafin, he's been batting practice the last week. There goes Casey's chance at a W. Altuve, he doubled and then scored on a Yordan Alvarez base knock. It's 2-2. Jeremy Pena has been lifted to the 4-hole, and man, he looks like a brand new guy this year. Tucker, he scores for the lead, and Bregman's ground out turned into an error that ruined the inning-ending double play. Another run scores. Yainer Diaz, he lofted a sac fly. The Astros are now up by 3, and Josh Hader is looking like Josh Hader again. Kind of reminds me of when he first joined the Padres. He was awful at first, but then once he kind of found his groove, he settled in at home. He became Josh Hader again. He strikes out 2 for his 5th save. The Astros have won 2 in a row, and we combine that with the Angels losing 2 in a row. The Angels are now in last place. All right, back to the Twins. This was actually a fun back-and-forth game with them and the Jays. Jose Miranda is looking like 2022 Miranda. That's a great swing. He took a slider the other way for his 9th RBI. He's also almost hitting 300 and no chance. Is that who I think it is? IKF, he powered up for a home run. He quietly has 12 RBIs and a 102 OPS plus, along with a pretty impressive 4 DRS on defense. Yusei really locked in after that RBI to Miranda, but Carlos Santana, he ended his momentum. He could not believe that ball left. And look at this. Jeffers, he threw the magical rally sausage and it doinked off of Carlos's head. Not only did Yusei find his groove, but Joe Ryan did as well. He set down J after J. He's out after 7 innings with 7 strikeouts. Yusei went 8 innings. He's the first J starter to even make it to the 8th this year. After he left, Kepler, he extended his streak. That RBI single gives Max Kepler a 12-game hit streak, and it was pretty ballsy considering it was a pinch hit at bat, so he had 1 chance to extend his streak. I guess Johan Duran was not available, so Griffin Jaxie's out there. Biggio, he messed with Carlos Santana's line of sight. Look at that. Santana missed it because the ball got through after Cavan distracted Carlos. The Jays are down by 1. Runners on 1st and 2nd, and no way that happened. Straight out of MLB The Show to end this game. It hit the pitcher wall. That's what we call it in the show community. It's an out. The Twins and the Royals have both won 3 in a row. They're both a half game back of the Guardians for first place in the AL Central. All of this first place talk reminds me that the Yankees are a half game back of first as well. We'll talk about the Orioles game after this one. Taj Bradley, he was 1 strike away from getting through 4 scoreless, but Rizzo, he was able to fight off a 98 fastball for the RBI. See, kids, just put the ball in play. That was all that starter Clark Schmidt needed. He's never going to be a guy who goes 6 innings. He was trying, wait, hold up. He's slicing and dicing, but as you can see, he's out for the 6th inning. Now, it started bad. Volpe, he saved him luckily from allowing back-to-back base runners. Then Clark Schmidt helped himself out. He picks off Randy Arozarena right before Josh Lowe rolled over. Wait, I thought his day was going to be done. He's back out for the 7th. I guess this is the test. Boone wanted to trust his guy. Clark got Harold Ramirez to whiff, and then he got DeLuca to line out for the 2nd out. But here comes Boone. Schmidt, he's done after 6 2/3. He's not happy, but hey, it worked out. Birdie and Weaver, they have been lethal out the pen. Rizzo, same thing, but not out the pen, just like offensively, he has 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, and a 1046 OPS over his last 16 games. Clay Holmes had a good amount of trouble in the 9th. The umpire bailed him out big time. That was an awful call, but then again, Trevino, he's a magician back there. He's the best framer in baseball. Tampa Bay, they load the bases up, and DeLuca, he's been clutch all year, but not there. That sweeper is disgusting. It makes sense that Clay Holmes has 12 saves and a 0 ERA because his stuff is disgusting. So if Baltimore loses, the Yankees will be back in the driver's seat in the AL East. The new Orioles owner was in the splash zone. He's out in the outfield. David Rubenstein, he said it cost $1.6 billion to be the president of the splash zone. I thought that Colton Cowser made a splash. He sent one out to deep left, and Lourdes, he got turned around. He was all over the place, but he somehow made the catch. That was crazy. Jordan Westberg, he got one to drop a few moments later, so the Orioles owner could do a bit of splashing with his fans. What happens if you buy a ticket and you don't know that it's the splash zone? I'd be kind of upset because it looked cold. Anyway, the Snakes are on the board now. Ketel Marte has 8 home runs. He has an automatic home run cheat code versus lefties. Baltimore stole back their lead after Ryan O'Hearn singled in the 5th, and Cole Irvin, he was fantastic again. I think at one point he had gone 23 innings in a row without allowing a run. Unfortunately, though, Albert Suarez, he could not strand the runners, so that Eugenio Suarez RBI is credited to Cole Irvin. And Craig Kimbrel came out for the 7th. He kind of called out the Orioles. He said that he fully expects to be closing games. I don't know if he signed with them for a lot of money, so he just expects, I'm going for 500 saves. I will be the closer, despite the fact that I've been awful. But he did admit that he has been bad, and I just don't know why he expects to be the closer if he's been bad. The AL Rookie of the Year from last year, Mr. Henderson, he doubled in an insurance run in the 8th. And check this out. For the second, or actually the 3rd time today, there was a deflection off the pitcher. It was probably still going to be an out if it got through, but the fact that it happened 3 times, I've very rarely seen that. The Orioles, they are 25-12. but they're still in second place. My brain literally just unplugged itself. The Orioles are in first place, don't mind me, but they're in first place just like the Phillies. Miami fans, you've suffered enough. I'm just going to speed through this. Castellanos, 400 feet the other way. That's his first Oppo Taco of the year. Johan Rojas had a big day. That's his first of, I think, 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Christian Pache, he split the gap for an RBI double, and Schwarber made it 4 runs on the day. Actually, it's 5 runs. I don't know why I just lied. Johan, he's not going to get a hit or an RBI on the swing because it's an error on Jake Berger. The Marlins just stink, man. I mean, there it is. Johan's second RBI, his second home run of the year. Imagine if he figures it out with the bat, because his defense is already unreal. Ranger Suarez, he struck out Tim Anderson for his 9th strikeout, 7 more scoreless frames. He's got like a 1-something ERA. Harper did Harper things. JT scores from first on that long double. Harper has 11 RBIs over his last 5 games. The Phillies are 15 games over 500. The Marlins, they're 20 games under 500. Who knows? Maybe Miami can pull a Washington or a Baltimore here soon by stinking it up and then making some great trades and turning it around. I mean, the Nationals got Keibert Ruiz in that Scherzer and Turner trade, and he made a nice tag to get Tyler O'Neill after Robles chucked it home. Trey Lipscomb, he plated 1 on a 2-out single. Wait, there was a runner at second, so Eddie Rosario, he wants to score. O'Neill, he tried the janitor throw. All of his muscle and power was in that, but Eddie Rosario, he just snuck in there. Washington, they got another 2-out base knock in the 3rd. Meneses, he hit it just soft enough to allow Luis Garcia Jr. to score. Patrick Corbin, he somehow threw 5 solid innings. He struck out 4 on 1 run. Repent, please. Jesus is coming back. Patrick Corbin had a good start. I know I make that joke often, but good for him, Eddie. He then singled, stole second base. He's now at third base after the bad throw. Another bad throw, so he gets to score easily. Jansen, he wasn't looking and didn't cover in time. Robles, he drove in another. That's his first RBI of the season. Jacob Barnes has been nasty out the pen for the Nationals. That leadoff double did not faze him. That walk didn't faze him either. He gets Tyler O'Neill to whiff at a fastball. All 3 outs in that final inning came via the strikeout. The Red Sox, they've lost 3 in a row, and the Nationals, they're 1 game over 500. They're 19-18. Jared Jones is about to show us what the Jones and Skenes duo could be, and Bellinger turned on a 100 fastball. Belly, he still got some fast hands. He still got that 6 swing. He's up to 7 home runs and a 147 OPS plus. Pittsburgh, they stole the lead back moments later. Nick Gonzalez, he was just recalled, and he does not want to go back down to the minors. Skenes and Gonzalez, the fact that they're both up is cool because they've both been considered faces of the franchise, or at least future faces of the franchise. Bellinger got Jared Jones again after Jared really locked in, this time on a double. The ball actually beat Nico Horner to home, but Yasmani just dropped it. That would have ended the 5th inning, but instead it's a tie ball game. We're in the 6th now after Jones did eventually get out of the 5th, and that's tough. Instead of it being a tie ball game, the RBI single from Miguel Amaya makes it 3-2 Cubs, again with 2 outs. Jones is out, and reliever Chris Stratton, he got torn up. Morel, that's an RBI bloop. Ian Happ, he ripped an RBI double, and the Cubs fully broke things open after Nick Madrigal plated 2 more. Yeah. Paul Skenes, it's time. Milwaukee better win this game, otherwise they're going to drop to 2nd place in the Central because the Cubs just won. Rookie Robert Gasser, he was making his debut, and with a name like Robert Gasser, you better be pumping 101, but I guess he throws like 94, 95, but hey, 94, 95 works for him. Arenado, he hit it soft enough to let Southfield make a diving play, and what did I just see? Bryce Terang, he put on his moon shoes. Not only does he make the leaping grab, but he quickly threw it to first for the double play. He is turning into a legit star. Milwaukee's lineup then stepped up for Robert Gasser. Hoskins, he ripped an RBI single, and because it was bobbled, 2 actually score, but Reese only gets 1 RBI. Bryce Terang is no joke. He's not afraid to choke up and just spray baseballs the other way. And now we have a bunt. Yelich, he kept it fair. That was with 2 outs as well. Terang scores. And Adames, he split the center field and right field gap to drive home 2 more for the rookie, Mr. Gasser. Robert was really good on the bump. Newt Barr could not hold back, so his debut ends after 6 shutout frames, only 2 base hits allowed. Frelick, he added to their lead with a 2-run single. Milwaukee is 1 run away from double digits, and there it is. He got blessed by the scorekeepers. They called that an RBI triple. I have no idea how. I thought it was going to be a single and a 2-base error, but okay. Nolan Gorman hit a fun home run. It was fun because it's his birthday. Yay, he's 24 years old. But it was like that CP3 meme where he hit a 3 to cut it to a 42 deficit. Gasser gets a W in his debut. The Brewers, they stay ahead in 1st place. All right, everyone, that does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting MLB Recap over the last 5 or 6 years. I just wanted to say you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Enjoy Paul Skenes' debut, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the Web Gems.
Up the middle. Rojas throwing. Oh, that's a nice play.
In the air, left field. Half back some more, and leaps.
Towards short. Anderson's got it from a knee to first.
Ground ball. Backhand stop Palacio.
Chapman. 1.
Lowe's been hot.
And what a play by Rogers. He's
all the way to the tarp, and he leads off.